Hey everyone, welcome back to 996 The Howl. Finally, we get all the trade details in this massive bomb by general manager Bill Armstrong, strong-arming the Calgary Flames for their pivotal defenseman Mackenzie Weegar. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. Mackenzie Weegar, a defenseman, 32 years old. We got him for a very long time. 5 years after this rest of this season. So about 5.5 years at $6.25 million. So he is cost controlled. He is 32 years old. So that's taking him through 37. Here are his stats the past 3 years. You can see he did score 20 goals 3 years ago, but I would not expect Mackenzie Weegar to score 20 goals. He's only scored above 10 goals once in his whole NHL career, which is that year of 20 goals. So pretty much an outlier there. You're not looking for Weegar to be an offensive dynamo. I think what Weegar is going to bring is just another stout, good, veteran, reliable defenseman. You can pair him up on the top pair with Sergachev. Like Weegar's like a number 2 guy. He for sure is a top 4 defenseman. He's not a bottom pairing type of guy. But maybe you pair him with Sergachev. Maybe he slots in third pairing with Cole if you want to separate Sergachev and Durzi. But then it's kind of weird because you have Durzi paired with Cole. That seems like a mishmash. I'm not sure how the defensive pairings are going to pan out because Schmidt and Marino as a second pairing have been unbelievable. Tops in the league and the Western Conference in plus minus. I'm jumping all over the place here with Weegar. Weegar plays in all situations, all areas of the ice, power play, PK. He averages about a minute 44 in penalty kill time per game. So maybe he could help out our penalty kill, which has been severely struggling as of late, where we're down to like 20th in the league around there. And he's got over 2 minutes per game on the power play. And we all know our power play has been struggling all season since game number 10. It's been slowly improving the past few games, but maybe you put him on PP number 2. He is a right-handed defenseman, which are coveted around the NHL. And there's some talks I've seen on Twitter where they think if you have a right-handed defenseman on the first power play unit instead of Sergachev, it makes that Keller to the defenseman to Gunther sort of triangle pass way quicker, smoother. You could catch the opponent sleeping a little bit more as opposed to Sergachev, who's a left-handed shot, and it's a bit awkward to receive that pass from Keller, and then he has to sort of pause and angle back to Gunther. So maybe they try Weegar in Sergachev's spot. Not saying Sergachev's terrible on PP1. He did score the other night, and he's been getting a lot of points recently. Just a little wrinkle here and there. Weegar also hits. He's not a big bruiser. I obviously haven't watched a lot of Weegar, and I don't really see him as a big bruising defenseman. So I just looked at his hit totals and then compared that with Utah's hit totals, and he would be third on the team in hits, and he would be first in defenseman on hits once he's on the Utah Mammoth. And he like doubles the amount of hits to our leading hitter defenseman, Nate Schmidt. So Nate Schmidt has 63 hits, leads the defenseman in hits, which is really low. And Weegar comes in at 130 hits on the season. If you compare him to last year, he would be second on the Utah Hockey Club, only behind Jack McBain in hits. And obviously, again, first in defenseman. So I'm loving that. Bill Armstrong has always said he wants to be that cactus, prickly type team. When he was hired in Arizona and then moving to the Mammoth, he wants to instill that fierce competitiveness on the back end. And I feel like no one's really hitting on the defensive side of things. We've seen a couple goals recently scored against Utah where players are just skating through Mammoth's defensive zone and no one's taking the body. And we need to teach guys like Simishev, guys like Lamoureux, you guys got to hit. You're like 6'5". You got to hit. So maybe Weegar can instill some body contact to those prospects. Maybe get a little bit tougher on the back end. But again, not a big, bruising, huge behemoth of a D-man. He's 6 feet tall, 205 pounds. So he's got the weight. He is 6 feet tall. So that's good. He's a really good two-way veteran defenseman. Like I said, plays in all areas of the ice. He really excels at getting the puck in the defensive zone, retrieving it, and then doing great breakouts. He's really good at starting breakouts. That first pass from D zone and neutral zone, he's really good at it. He's got really good IQ as well. So this definitely makes Utah better. My only sort of issue with this, not really an issue. I love that Weegar is going to make this team's defense really, really good for a really, really long time. It's just that I really did feel like I said it in my trade bait video, the defense is solid. They don't really need to fix that. They're like 5th in the league in goals against per game. It was the one area where they didn't need to fix. And so they went out and kind of blew their load of 3 second-round picks for Weegar, whereas I really felt they needed another top 9 veteran scorer, a gritty guy who could put the puck in the net. Because right now you got Carcone and Yamamoto playing every night. I feel like that third line wing position of Yamamoto could be better suited with a trade and an upgrade in the forward group. I really felt like the forwards needed an upgrade, and our backup position, I felt that's a clear sign that we need some help there in the backup position. It's not, the trade deadline is not over, so obviously there could be supplemental moves, but definitely this makes Utah a better team now with Weegar on the team. And then you look ahead to next year, you know, once Ian Cole's contract is up this year, it was up last year as well, but we extended him 1 more year. I think it's time we move on from Cole, and I think we will now that we acquired Schmidt and now Weegar. You could look at like 3 defensive pairings of a Sergachev, Weegar, Simishev, Durzi, and a Schmidt and Marino. Like, those are 3 dangerous, really good pairings. So loving that for the future of the Utah Mammoth. There was rumors that Lamoureux was going to be part of the trade. Lamoureux is a prospect that I would give up in a good trade to get a good player. I feel like I'm a bit underwhelmed by him. But one thing I was worried about was, you know, if you trade away Lamoureux, like, our future on the D is wearing thin. Like, you only have Simishev. And then guys like Schmidt, Marino, and Durzi, they're all, their contracts are expiring very soon. Marino's only got 1 more season after this. Durzi and Schmidt only 2 more seasons. So you got to start folding in some young D-men. And if we gave away Lamoureux, like, there's no one left outside of Simishev. You got to wait for Zanichka. And if we waited this long for Lamoureux to develop into an NHLer, think how long it would be for Zanichka. Duda, you rarely hear his name in making the jump. Zuber's having a good season in the American Hockey League, but you rarely see him making the jump to the NHL. I already mentioned Zanichka. There's Skahan in the NCAA, and Lavoie in the Quebec League, who signed to an entry-level contract. He should be going to Roadrunners next season. So I was really worried, like, if you give away Lamoureux, you're kind of wearing thin on the D prospects in a situation where the D prospects are kind of thin, even if with Lamoureux. So I'm glad they kept Lamoureux. So let's go to who they gave up. They gave up Maatta, who I had to look twice. I forgot we gave this guy $3.5 million. Last year, I loved it because he came in and pretty much saved the season for the hockey club, bringing dependability, reliability. He just really calmed things down and gave us that stability we needed on the back end, where everyone was injured on the back end last year. So we rewarded him. This season, he's been healthy scratch pretty much the whole season. He did win a bronze medal with Finland, and he did play the last 2 games. I liked how he played, better than DeSimone. But the great thing here is you subtract that cap hit from Weegar's, and you're getting Weegar for about $2.75 million for the next 2.5 years, which is unbelievable. Obviously, after those 2.5 years, that Maatta and Weegar cancellation will not be there. Then you'll have the full cap hit of Weegar at $6.25 million. But I love that move of you just digest only $2.75 million and you completely upgraded your D-core. A lot of assets we gave up, 3 2026 second-round picks. I put it on my trade bait board. Please use your seconds, not your first round pick. So love that they didn't use their first round pick yet. I did not expect them to use all 3 of them. So let's go. How did we acquire those picks? One of them is a New York Rangers pick. One of them is an Ottawa Senators pick. And the other one is obviously Utah's own second round pick. So where did that Rangers pick come from? That came from acquiring Patrick Nemeth in 2022, 4 years ago. So moves that Bill Armstrong made 4 years ago are paying dividends in a package right now for Mackenzie Weegar. That Ottawa second round pick is from the Jacob Chikrin trade. That was in 2023, I believe. I have it written down here. Oh, where is it? So the Rangers pick from 2022 and the Chikrin trade 2023. So 3 years ago, exactly. There was 3 years, the trade deadline 3 years ago. So that Rangers second round pick, the Rangers are finishing near the bottom of the standings. So that's going to be like a 35 pick overall, which is sort of a late first, but not really. And Utah's first round pick has so much more value than each of those second round picks. So great stuff by the team to keep that first round pick. And then they said that a prospect was involved. And like I said, I already thought the rumors of Lamoureux would be true, but we go with Castagna, Jonathan Castagna from the NCAA in Cornell. Not even a top 10 prospect for Utah, not even for me personally. He is having a great bounce back year, and I was so happy to see him have a bounce back year after a brutal season last year. I think he had 15 points. This year he's got 32 points in 29 games played. He is a centerman, and that hurts our center pipeline, but to be honest, Cooley, Baudouin, Desnoyers, we'll see who sticks around. Maybe Hayden and McBain. Like Cooley and Desnoyers are your top two centers for the next 10 years. And then Baudouin should be a great third line center. So really you only have room for one more fourth line center, and it could be McBain, Hayden. We'll see what happens with Stenlund. You could acquire a fourth line center, but definitely our center line position for Utah was definitely filled up by some great prospects, and it'd be like a shot in the dark Castagna ever sniffed the center position for Utah. For the Roadrunners, for sure, he'd be a great centerman. The Roadrunners kind of weak on the center position this season, and I'm sure next season maybe we see Desnoyers, Baudouin, maybe they could go to the Roadrunners. And then, already talked about Castagna, so that's the trade. Hopefully I didn't ramble on too much. Some more stuff about Weegar. He's durable. He's played 4 straight seasons of 80 games, and this year he's on track to reach another 80 games. That's 5 straight years. So great to see they didn't acquire a sort of injury-prone guy. And great stuff by Utah. Just, again, my only little qualm is I feel like you could have upgraded the forward position, which was much needed, and the backup position. But we all know Bill Armstrong probably has plans to upgrade the forward group. And a wonderful trade by Bill Armstrong. This is the first year where Utah is buying, where Bill Armstrong is buying, where I'm making videos of us buying, and what a great first trade. No first round picks and no top 10 prospects, and you give away a cap hit. Yep, those 3 seconds, that's a lot of individual assets, but you kept your first, which was what we need to do. We haven't even made the playoffs yet. So until you make the playoffs, then you start trading your first round picks. So I love that we kept it. Hopefully we still keep it. And that should be another good prospect to add to the already covered full prospect pool. So that's it for me. Thank you for watching. If you like what you see, spread the word. And as always, thank you for your support.